Bad trikes, electrocuting nightlights, and a terrible trampoline. In this video, we're going to take a look at the 10 toys recalled for being so dangerous. Part 3. Number 10. X-Rider Car. Toy rides have been a popular toy for kids for years, so it's not surprising to find that the X-Rider car was a hit with kids. However, it didn't enjoy the time in the spotlight for long, as it was recalled in 2018 due to safety concerns. The toy came with a plastic seat that started to fall off from the main frame of the car, posing a risk of injury to kids riding on it. The makers of the toy ride had to recall 1,500 units, which had been sold online using websites like Amazon and Zulily between September 2017 and November 2017. But before the recall, there had been 4 reports of the seats falling off the car. Thankfully, though, no children were injured. That could have easily gone south really fast. There was also the problem of balance, as kids who leaned too far forward on the seat could fall over the handlebar and hit the ground, injuring themselves in the process. Number 9. Spark Spitfire Inline Skates. The Spark and Spitfire inline skates were designed in both single-wheel and inline configurations. Inline skates are pretty dangerous on their own, so one with a fault is even worse. This toy was recalled by the makers in 2018 after 6 reports were made to the COSC about the wheel axle on the skate breaking. This meant many things. Kids could fall when wearing the skates, and anyone in motion might have a difficult time stopping, or they might stop so abruptly. All in all, the end is injuries. Thankfully, though, there were no injuries in the results. The makers had to take back 16,000 units of the Spark and Spitfire inline skates, which were sold at specialty stores and online retailers between February 2015 and December 17. Anything could have happened in those 2 years that the skate was sold to the public. Number 8. Liquid Motion Water Slides. The Liquid Motion Water Slide was another toy that was recalled for safety reasons. The toy came with a plastic sheet that was meant to be connected to a garden hose. This made the surface slippery for children to slide on. The toys started to be recalled in 2017 when the makers got more than 20 reports of the water slide collapsing during use. It's already dangerous going on a wet slide, so having one that also collapses could not be more terrifying. The collapsing water slide caused several injuries, such as a neck injury and a fractured wrist. When looked into, the water slide was collapsing because of the force of the water, the weight of the users, and going bad over time. A slide made to be used with water goes bad because of water. What a time to be alive! The COSC told customers to stop using the toy and return it to the makers for a full refund. We'd expect no less. If you think these were dangerous, things are about to get worse. Keep watching to see what's next. Number 7. Disney Fairies Plastic Racing Trikes. About 12,000 Disney-branded Fairies plastic racing trikes were recalled in 2012 by the CPSC. Why, you wonder? Let's just say it wasn't very good quality. There were plastic fairy figures attached to the handlebars. Now, this is a bad place to attach figurines, because any sudden stop might have kids bumping their heads into them. Injuries are bound to be the result. If that wasn't bad enough, these fairy figures would also come off, injuring children in the process. Keep in mind that these trikes have been in the market since August 2010, before they were recalled nearly 2 years later in July 2012. The COSC told everyone that bought the toy to stop using it and get in touch with the makers for a full replacement. The company also helped people reach them better. Either way, I don't think such a design is smart or safe. Even if the fairy figures stop coming off, it doesn't stop them from injuring kids, who had the brilliant idea to stick them on the handlebars. Number 6. Super Soaker XP20 and XP30. The Super Soaker is a popular line of recreational water guns. This toy's been making childhood memories since 1990 and is still a hit to date. Over the years, the company's made many different models and variations of the toy, including the Super Soaker XP20 and XP30. However, this time, they seem to have done it wrong. In 2020, the CPSC reported that the Super Soaker XP20 and XP30 would be recalled because they contained high levels of lead in the ink used on the decorative stickers placed on the toys. If you've been on this channel long enough, you know that high lead levels and kids don't go well together. And given that this toy uses water, kids will be exposed to it all the more. If eaten, lead can cause a lot of problems to one's health. Almost 52,900 units of the Super Soaker XP20 and Super Soaker XP30 have been sold between March and July 2020. Number 5. Radio Flyers E-Wagon. Radio Flyers electric wagons, otherwise known as the E-Wagon, were recalled in 2018 by the COSC after it was found that the toy could potentially injure kids. Around 5,000 units of the toys were recalled during this period, most of which had been sold online and at radio flyer stores between August 2017 and January 2018. What was the big problem? Well, let's just say this wagon never wanted to stop, and it probably read a motivational quote on Twitter. The problem was that the e-wagon would not stop even when placed in neutral. This must have been frightening for a lot of kids. One minute you're driving around and the next you're screaming because the toy won't stop moving. That's enough to give some children a phobia for actual vehicles. Imagine your child being scared of riding in the car with you because a toy maker couldn't make a good toy. Thankfully, there were no injuries reported. The CPSC advised anyone that bought the toy to connect the makers, who sent out a kit with repair instructions for the toy. Number 4, Disney-themed Pogo sticks. Here's Disney again with another bad product. This time it's a range of Pogo sticks. Of the lot, perhaps the one with the biggest problem was the Disney Hannah Montana Pogo stick. Almost 159,000 units of this toy were recalled, having been sold at Toys R Us across the United States and online between February 2008 and August 2009. The problem with this toy is quite shocking. The metal frame on the Pogo stick could break during use. You had one job, Disney. The frame is more than half the entire toy, and that didn't stop them from making it terrible. The toy is a bouncy stick, so if the main frame breaks during a jump, a lot of things could go wrong. Kids could fall, and injuries are just around the corner. It's no wonder that there were at least 9 reported incidents, such as several reports of injuries such as bumps, bruises, and lacerations. A toy as simple as a pogo stick, yet they couldn't even get it right. Starting out, things get even worse. Keep watching until the end. Number 3, Sports Power Parkside Trampolines. Trampolines can be a fun toy, but they can also be dangerous. This is one example of the latter. In 2019, the CPSC ordered a recall of Sports Power's Parkside trampolines because they may injure users. About 23,400 units were recalled in the process, which had been sold between June 2019 and August 2019. Why? Because the trampoline's legs usually broke when in use, which made the toy collapse and injure its users. The entire point of the trampoline is that it's off the ground. But the makers of this toy couldn't manage that at all. People trust trampolines to be there when they're sailing through the air, but this one couldn't do that. The one thing it was bought to do. There were at least 17 injury reports in which the trampoline legs had broken, including several reports of injuries like bruises, lacerations, and fractures. The CPSC advised those that bought the products to stop using them and reach out to the makers for a repair kit. I don't think I'll be too keen on a repair kit if I got injured because of a trampoline, but okay. Number 2, Happy Holidays Mickey Mouse Nightlight. Imagine you've gone to bed one night, ordinary, and just another Tuesday in the life. Then you wake up to electricity buzzing in the middle of the night to find you're now Thor. The CPSC ordered the recall of the Happy Holidays Mickey Mouse Nightlight in 2019 because it could lead to electric shocks. That's right, a toy had turned into Mulder for some reason. How so? Well, the electrical part of the toy became exposed. This became a risk for users, particularly kids who might not understand what's going on. Or still, anything could go wrong if a child handles the toy without telling. As a toy meant for kids, Disney should have paid more attention to ensuring it's safe enough to be used by kids. This is unfortunate because the aftermath of such a toy is never good. Up to 11,000 units were recalled in the process, from those sold around the United States between July 2019 and November 2019. The CPSC advised people to stop using the toy and contact Walt Disney Parks and Resorts for their money back. In my opinion, they got off easy, considering their product may have electrocuted kids somewhere around the world. Number 1, Fisher-Price Trikes. Here's another trike gone bad. The CPSC ordered the recall of many Fisher-Price Trikes models in 2010 because they could injure kids. Up to 7 million units were affected in the process, which had been sold between January 97 and September 2010. That's a lot of time this problematic trike had been sold across the nation. Not to talk about just how many of the toys were bad. The reason for the recall was simple. The plastic ignition key that started the trike stuck out like a sore thumb. The CPSC found that a little bit of poor design could injure kids, causing lacerations or choking hazards. There was also a small part of this ignition being too close to the genitals. So, even the smallest mishap might bruise or injure the nethers of a child. It's unbelievable how terrible of a design this is. There's also the problem of balance, and the rear end of this product sometimes made kids fall and injure themselves. There have been at least 10 reports of incidents in which the Fisher-Price Trikes injured kids, including cutting, bruising, and damaging their teeth. One minute your kid's playing on a trike, and the next they're bleeding all over. It's a nightmare. Enjoyed the video? Now watch this one.